Hey guys, it's Kara here with Kinsley's Creative Palette, and we are going to open 10 spots for box members this month. We usually open 20, but I don't have the capacity to do that many more this month, so I'm only opening 10. So if you like what you see and you want to join us next month, all you have to do is text the word sign up to the number in the description, which is 740-273-8101. But without further ado, for all of our box members, we are opening our DIY home decor box. And I actually have a sealed one to open with y'all tonight. So I'm super excited because usually mine is not like sealed and in a box and all the things. So this month we are doing this gorgeous beach theme lantern. Hello, friends. This gorgeous beach theme lantern, and if you would like the chance to win some Happy Mail, all you have to do is sprinkle this video, and we will be entering everyone who sprinkles to win a special something or another in the mail. But I'm going to go ahead and open Laura. Okay, guys, Laura always tells me she makes it late, and so she set an alarm today. So I'm super excited. Laura, you are here. You haven't missed anything. So here is what comes in the box. Okay, so every month my home decor box members get a box in the mail that has, thank you, that has some goodies in it. And it's everything you need to create a home decor project. So this is what we're making. It actually has a lantern candle. So I'm going to pop this and show you. When you first turn your candle on, I believe it is 6 hours that it will cycle on, and then it'll turn off for 18, and then it'll automatically turn back on. So what I love about this project is you can mix your own shells and you can make it your own with, shells that you find at the beach. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Laura. Both Lauras are on. So you can also set it and forget it. So when I flip this on and set it in the room, let's say that I want it to come on from 5 to 11 each night. I'm going to turn it on for the very first time at 5 p.m. Let me turn it off. 5 p.m. I'm going to click the on. I'm going to set it down, and I don't have to do anything with it again until the battery runs out. So I love these candles for that reason. Around Christmas time, I put them all over my house, and it's so fun because at night everything just kind of lights up magically. So that is also included in your box. It wasn't on my sample. Everyone's shells also look different based on, I just had a big mix and I just threw a bunch in your box. So without further ado, let's get started. So what's in your box? Well, first of all, there's paper, and you don't want to throw this away. We're going to use this paper. We're going to lift it out, discard our box. And I'm actually going to craft right on my piece of paper right here. Well, hello, Diana. Hello, Linda from Michigan, and Yadira. Okay, so this is what you get in this month's box. You have some wooden pieces like this, and then you have more. You have seashells, you have paint, you have all kinds of stuff in your little package right here. So I am going to open this up. It is so good to see y'all too. While I'm crafting tonight, I will fill y'all in on all the chaos going on in the Williams world. There's so much. There's so much. I feel like it's been eons since I've been able to talk to y'all and tell you all the things. But good stuff, crazy stuff, all the things are going on. But let me start showing you how to do this, okay? You don't have to paint all of these pieces. I'm going to go ahead and cut this open, kind of start unwrapping it. You are going to have to paint, but you're not going to have to paint everything. The reason is some of these pieces are going to be glued together. I did put a glove in here if you want to use it. I'm going to get messy tonight. My nails are not done, so I'm just going to not use it. You're going to have these pieces, which are going to be glued together. Let me show you this top. Okay, so this is 3 thick, and this part is 3 thick. You also, your feet are going to be 2 thick. So some of these are going to be glued together. So what I highly recommend is that you that you glue and then you paint. Now, yes, that makes it just slightly harder to paint, but then you're not wasting your time painting backs and fronts that you don't need to do. When you do this part, you've got 3 pieces like this, okay? 2 of them have notches in them and they're identical. And then 1 of them has a hole in the middle. These 3 are going to go together, but it is extremely important that these match up and that those notches, that all 4 of those notches match up when you glue them. Another thing to note, these 3 pieces are your bottom pieces. Okay? So this is your middle, the one that doesn't have any holes or anything. This is the top, and then this is your bottom that's going to hold your feet. And yes, trying to see. Hold on a second. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah. It's been a while since I put this one together, so I just had to make sure. So we are going to start off by gluing the bottom and the top together. Then we're going to paint our pieces, and then we'll finish gluing the other pieces together. So I'm just going to kind of break these out. And I did want to note that I have this circle top on mine that I actually sent 3 tops. So you could kind of pick what you want the top of your lantern to look like. So there's this one, it's a little bit more ornate. And then there's this one, which is the one I chose. And then there's also this one. So you get to pick which one you want to do. I think since I already have one made like this, I'm going to use this one this time. So let me go ahead and get my super glue out. And this is where we're going to want to be very careful, and we are going to want to glue our pieces together. Okay, I always forget how to do this. Oh, I have to take this off. Oh, I'm so glad you love it. That makes me so happy. Okay, very carefully, I'm going to puncture the top of that, and I'm going to screw this back on. And we're going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to start layering these pieces. So I'm just going to put some glue. Now, when you're working with super glue and wood, you kind of have to move quickly so that your super glue doesn't all absorb into your wood and not glue your pieces together. So I'm going to push down right there and let that sit for just a minute. Hey, I'm going to turn the air conditioner on right here. If it gets too loud, will y'all please tell me that you can't hear me anymore? Because I turned it on earlier. I came over and it's still kind of warm in here, so I was going to turn it back on. Okay. All right, so those 2 pieces are glued together. Now I'm going to put some glue here. And we're going to glue this one. Just make sure you get it good and straight, like line it up right there along those edges. Well, hello from Virginia, Miss Stephanie. After we start painting, I'll catch y'all up on our big move that's coming up. So it's a long story, but I'll tell y'all all the things because I've had all these things in my head that I've wanted to talk to y'all about since probably January, but I wasn't able to talk about. And so I'm finally able to kind of tell y'all what's been going on, and it's kind of a fun story. It's sad and happy at the same time. But so I'll tell y'all all about that. Thank you for sprinkling, Yadira. All right, so here is our bottom. Now I'm going to glue these two pieces together. So remember, these just need to, these notches have to line up or else your project will not work. Okay. This is why I did not want, I did put some instructions in our box this month, but I didn't want to get too technical because I didn't want someone to mess up and be upset because they went ahead. Okay, I think I'm good. I've gotten it a little bit over. Let me look and see. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. See, the main thing is these pieces need to be able to squeeze in there, and so you have to make sure you line those 4 holes up. Okay, so then the last one, this piece goes on the top. So I'm just going to put it on the top. Line it up too. I might need more glue. I moved it at the last second. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so now we can start painting. Oh, I forgot. We have to glue these pieces together. So you have 8 of these little feet, but you only need 4 feet. So what we do is we double these up and make chunky feet. So just put a tiny dot of glue and then line it up and let it sit. Same thing here. Dot of glue, line it up, and let it sit. So 4 of those is how many you should have left. Stephanie, we're glad you're here too. We are glad you're here too. This is something we do. We do the home decor box once a month, and we are actually opening up 10 new spots at the end of the month. If anyone would like to join us, I can, if you text sign up to the number above. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you. But if you text that, I will send out a link as soon as that link goes up, and there will be 10 spots that open. Okay, I'm going to take the shells off of this plate, and I'm going to shake this plate off. So this plate is dual purpose. It is to hold all the pieces so that we could shrink wrap it. And now it's going to become our paint palette. So you have some options with this one. You can paint the entire thing dark and make, get it good and coated, or you can do kind of the stain technique. And if you do the stain technique, you're not going to have to do it quite so dark. So what you would do, if you want to do, let me put the glue top on. If you want it to be the stain technique, is you're actually going to mix some water on your brush and then dip into your paint. And then you're going to get some of it off on here, and you're just going to start kind of staining. So that's what I'm going to show you tonight. If you want it to be more, opaque, not transparent, then what you'll actually do is you'll just put as many coats of paint as you like. You've got, this is not just plain acrylic paint. This is actually, because I had to have this color mixed, it's actually like wall paint, so it's going to go a little bit farther. But if you use the water technique, it'll go even farther. I've got water on here. I'm going to dip in here, and I'm just going to kind of dip and get some on here. Get a little bit more water. Okay, so now that my brush, I have some really thinned out paint on here, I'm going to start brushing it on. And I just want it to be stained. I don't want it to be opaque. And you can hit this with a blow dryer if you want to. I'm gonna kind of hold this piece since I went ahead and did both sides. But I'm just putting a very light coat just to cover it, and some of that paint is gonna actually absorb right into the wood. You can take a paper towel if you want to and get the excess off, or you can just let it dry, whatever you want to do. So now I'm just going to do all of these. What I love about this project, guys, is it goes together really quickly. Well, hello, Rosemary from Tennessee. Oh, I'm sorry, not Rosemary, Rosanna from Tennessee. I was just down in Tennessee this past week. I was in Tennessee, Alabama. I've been in Texas this summer. Okay, so there's those pieces. I'm gonna just kind of blot this off, and you can kind of see what the stain effect looks like. So I'm blotting it right on my paper, and now it just kind of looks stained. Now we're gonna let that dry. So I'm gonna set it off to the side, and I'm just gonna kind of keep going with these other pieces. I'm getting all messy, but that's okay. And friends, this does not take very much paint at all if you use the stain technique. Hello, Miss Lisa. If you paint the other way, where you're actually putting thicker coats of paint, it is going to take more paint, but it's still not going to take a ton. All right, so now I am painting the inside of this, and you can see I'm just using this brush, and I'm just very gently getting in all those corners, just so that I don't have any raw wood showing through, since I did go ahead and glue all those. All right. I'm still using that same little bit of paint that I mixed a few minutes ago. Starting to run out, so I'm going to get some more water and some more paint. And you're basically just making like a water-based stain. Brush it on. And then I'm going to flip these pieces over and let them kind of blot out on that paper. And then I'm going to do the other side. Okay. All right. Now, if you look at this right here, if you look really close in these 4 holes, you can still see the wood. That's okay, because we're actually going to put these down in there, so you're not going to see it later. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of stain the back side. Now, if you have a blow dryer handy, that will speed up this process. But if you don't, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Stephanie. So my friend Alicia had just gotten back from the Keys, the Florida Keys, and I showed her this project, and I showed her this paint color that I had mixed. And it was so cute, because when it was time to go get my color mixed at Home Depot, she sent me with this little sample card she had made me of my custom color. And it said, I don't know, it was Caribbean. It was something Caribbean. And I thought, how perfect is that? It just fit. All right, so if you have paper towels, now would be a good time to use them. And I am going to wipe off any of this excess paint. I'm going to use a Clorox wipe or wet wipe, just because that's what I have at my paint table. But we're just going to kind of wipe off any of this excess paint, and it's going to leave us with a pretty stain. Let me show you what this looks like. Now, it's okay if some of the areas have a little bit more color than others. Can y'all see how that just kind of looks just washed? Do the same thing here. And then I'm going to set this off to the side and let that dry. And I'm going to work on these little pieces. Same thing, I just want to wipe all of the excess off. Y'all see how quick that is? It goes so quickly when you're doing this kind of stain technique. I'm going to blot some of that off. These pieces, flip it over and do the same thing. And I am setting these off to the side just so they don't stay wet. So they can start drying. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now, without further ado, we are going to blow dry. So I'm going to put all of this, my trash and all of this. This is all disposable. You could rewash your brush if you want to. I am probably not going to wash my brush. I'm going to throw this paper away. I like no mess, friends. I like it to have no mess. I'm going to put the rest of this paint up. Guys, there's still a lot of paint in here to do a lot of project with. If you got the box and you're like, Kara, but wait, I see we have white paint as well. Let me just show you kind of up close on our lantern. So all I did was I kind of took that white and distressed it, but that's at the very end. So you don't have to do that part yet. Oh, friends, I realized what I just forgot. I forgot to do my top piece. So let me do that real quick. Okay. Set that back down. Okay, I'm going to let that sit and dry a little bit before I do anything else to it. Okay, I've got all of these pieces that I am now going to hit with the blow dryer. And friends, if you don't keep a blow dryer on your paint table, at least keep one handy because it speeds it up super fast. Okay, we are dry-ish. I say dry-ish just because, you know, we got the wood pretty wet, so it'll take a while to dry all the way, but it's dry enough that we can put it together. I'm gonna wipe my hands real quick because I'm feeling really messy. Sometimes I'm okay with messy, and sometimes messy drives me crazy. Anybody else? I think it depends on what your day has held. At least for me, sometimes, if I am okay with being messy or not. All right, dry my hands. Friends, if you're new to watching me, microfiber towels are like my best friends. Love them, love them, love them. I also keep baby wipes and antibacterial wipes on my paint table, one or the other at all times. All right, so we're going to start at the bottom. So I'm going to flip it upside down, just like that. And we are going to glue. I feel like I did something wrong. Hold on, friends. Does it just go like that? Okay, so I know what it was. These just show you where the placeholders are. They don't actually fit down in the holes. They're just to show you where they go. We are keeping a streak going. You're so funny. Now, you also can, if you want to, you can glue them like this. Let me show you. You have options. You can glue them where they're the short side up or the short side down. All right. But what you're going to want to do, whichever way you're going to glue them, is you're going to straddle them over this hole the opposite way so that you actually have somewhere for this glue to grab a hold of. I'm going to do mine short side down. And I'm just going to set them. I want it to, there you go. Yes, set it. I did mine short side down. I mean up. I don't know. Facing down to my paint project. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you want to place them differently, you absolutely can do that. You can do it however you want to. This is your project. All right, and we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to move on to our top piece, and we're going to glue whichever piece you picked. We're going to glue that right in here. Just set it down in there. Okay. We're going to let that sit for just a minute. Okay, so Laura says she has a streak going. She guesses a wet wipe to my fingers. You glued a wet wipe? Is that what you did? You glued a wet wipe to your fingers? Something I was going to tell y'all that I have discovered over the last few months, since we've started working with super glue a whole lot in our home decor boxes. There is a product. It's actually in my Amazon affiliate store. It's called Mineral Fusion. Nope, not Mineral Fusion. Oh, what is the name of it? Shoot, I'm going to have to look. It was supposed to be a nail polish remover, and it does do that. But what it also does is it conditions your fingers really well, doesn't dry them out, and it removes super glue. So I have started using that when I glue my fingers together to get them unglued. So just a heads up for some of you. Now, these pieces pop right in. These pieces have to be kind of wiggled in on mine. Yours may be slightly different. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure all of them are placed right before you actually put your glue on. So I am just kind of wiggling, getting mine in place. And then I'm just going to kind of move one at a time to glue them. And that is going to be how our lantern goes together. And that's going to be really all. Then we can just decorate it and distress it if you want to. All right, so that is how those pieces go together, and this is what our lantern is going to look like. Like I said, it's going to be different depending on which of these tops that you picked. But what I'm going to do is I I don't think I'm actually going to worry about gluing these pieces because mine are tight. So I'm going to just glue these bottom pieces. And I'm going to try to do 2 at a time. So I'm going to try to do these 2. Just going to squirt some glue down in there and in here. Without gluing my fingers together. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Push that down in there. And then if we can't get this other side up, then that's okay because really it's going to kind of hold itself in place anyway. Oh, I can get them out. So I'm going to wiggle those out. Squirt some glue in each of those holes. And push down. All right, so I'm just going to leave it there for just a second. Thank you, Stephanie. And then we are going to decorate and distress it. It's the fun part. Now, I would encourage you, if you have, seashells that maybe from a beach trip or something that are valuable to you, something that is sentimental, use those on this project. You don't have to use the ones I sent, or they can be a good jumping off point. But this is what our lantern looks like so far. Okay, you can see it's stained instead of kind of a dark painted. And then we've got our light that we're going to put on there. But first, I want to show you how I'm going to distress mine. So I've got this little bitty container of white paint. Open it up. Be very careful it doesn't splatter everywhere. But I've got just a little bit right here. I'm going to get my plate back over here. I'm going to just put some out onto my plate. And then you're going to get either a dry towel or you're going to dry your brush. Just throw that all over me. I'm going to use my brush. And I'm just going to wash it out real good, real cute. Thank you, Rosanna. All right, I'm going to dry this. Get it real good and dry. Thank you, Rosanna. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to put some paint right here on here, get most of it off. And now I'm just going to hit these edges. The idea is you just want to hit the edges. And if you get too much, just wipe it off. But I just want to hit the edges. You can even use, if you need to, you can use your finger to kind of spread it if it gets too heavy-handed. But we're just hitting these edges and distressing them. We just want it, the distressing just adds a tiny bit of dimension. And to me, it makes it look more worn and more beachish. But we don't want a lot of paint. Can you see how I'm not putting hardly any paint? We're just barely hitting it. We want just a little bit on those corners. Kind of rubbing it off. And you can do this, like I said, as much or as little as you want. Just going to go all the way around. Just hitting it in various spots. Get a little bit more paint. And friends, the reason you only want a little bit of paint is you can always add more, but it's harder to take off if you get too much. So I'd rather you kind of start and be conservative than slap a bunch of distressing paint on there and then hate it. Now I am going to hit this inner edge too, like right along this inner, so that it does give some dimension to that inner level. Same thing with these inner pieces. That way when you're looking across at the lantern, it just kind of highlights. It's turned out so pretty. Now, I'm going to hit this just a couple places in the middle. And then I'm going to take this white and I'm going to kind of spread it just so it has some natural highlights. Okay, friends, it's kind of hard to see the distressing on there, but you can kind of see just how we kind of highlighted it with our paintbrush. If that's not enough and you want more, feel free to go crazy, but I would say start out small. Start out with just a few highlights and then add as you go. Okay. Oh, Stephanie, thank you. All right, so I'm going to move it closer to us or to the camera while I decorate it. Friends, these are the shells that were in my bag. Let me just show you, or in my box. I've got just, I've got this fun shell. I've got this one that has just brown and white. I've got this one. Yours, all of them were different. Some of you got ones that look like this. Some of you got ones that were like this. You all got some basic shells, but I just want to just kind of arrange them. I'm going to put my candle in the middle. Wipe my hands off again. Okay. All right. So my candle is going to go in the middle. I'll go ahead and turn it on so y'all can see how pretty it's going to be. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm going to turn it on. All you have to do is flip the switch on the bottom. And then we are just going to arrange the biggest shells first. And I'm doing kind of the white because we'll kind of build on those. There's that one. And I've got some little ones. Now you want your highlight shells, the ones that have the biggest impact, like that you want people to see. You want those to be kind of on the outside. And like I said, if you have more shells at home, feel free to go crazy and decorate. I'm going to create a little bundle of shells over here. Actually, I think I'm going to move this one over here. And just play around with it until it's the way that you want it. I try to do kind of a highlight shell in each of these little spots. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Shelley. Hello, Miss Karen. Now, I did have a few of y'all that messaged me early, and y'all were already trying to put your box together. People were already so excited, which makes me so stinking excited. I love it when y'all get your boxes and you're like, okay, I've got no idea what's in here, but I'm super excited to do it. It makes me really happy. Okay. All right, so got all of these. All right, friends, there is our sweet little seashell lantern. And I'm gonna put a few more shells that I pulled from my house in here, just so you can see. If you go to the beach and you find a pretty shell, come back and add it to your collection. You pull it out next year, you go back to the beach, and you can add more to your collection. So you can add, I found this one when my daughter and I went to the beach, and it was so pretty, and it's brown, which goes neutral and goes with everything. And so like that one is really pretty on there too. So you can do a whole bunch with this. You could even add sand on the bottom if you want to. But friends, I can't wait to see these decorated in your houses. Like, I can't wait. I want to see all the pictures. If you want to join us next month for our box, I will tell you it is really cute. It's going to take you all the way through probably November. It's something that you can start putting out immediately, but it'll also take you through the fall. So it's super cute. And then the box after that is going to be, guys, it's something that I never thought I'd be able to do in a box, but it's going to be amazing. So I'm so excited. I did promise y'all, though, that I would tell you what is going on in the Williams family. So if you want to hang with me, great. If you don't, that's okay. You can jump off. So back in, y'all know I am a God-loving, God-fearing Christian woman who struggles a lot. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and this is kind of what heals me in so many ways. Obviously, leaning on God is the most important, but keeping my hands busy and using my hands and doing something to distract me just really helps me heal, and it helps me to be that strong mom I need to be for my kids. So back in December, January-ish, probably like right around Christmas, I felt God really tugging at my heart, telling me to be prepared, that there was a big change coming. And I felt like it was going to involve a relocation. And at first I was angry. I was not super happy. But then I started thinking about what a relocation means for our family. A relocation normally means my husband is getting a new job. It means that there is something that God has like made the way for him. There's somewhere he needs to go so he can make an impact. When I get, I don't want to say bored with what I'm doing, but I can always add a new project. I can learn a new paint technique. I can learn a new machine. I can learn a new saw. I can teach you guys something fun and new that you haven't done with me before. My husband can't do that. My husband goes to work every day, and his impact is on the people in his building. So I kind of felt God softening my heart and telling me, I need you to mentally prepare for this. I'm going to need you to be strong for this. So friends, I've kind of been holding that, I'm going to say anxiety and worry, kind of at arm's length since January. I've spent January up until the end of May working about 60 hours a week so that I could get ahead for my summer boxes, partly because I knew my family would be traveling. I knew I wanted to take my kids and do fun stuff with them this summer, but also because I knew I needed to pre-cut and pre-package boxes for while we were in transition. Still not knowing where that transition was going to be. So I had a retreat on April, I believe it was the 24th. And my mom came, my grandmother came. We had a great time with some really sweet customers. It was amazing. Well, during that time, my husband and I kind of passed in the hall. I was busy with company and getting ready for my retreat, and he was busy just, keeping the kids going and living life. And so the day that everybody left and we sat down to have dinner, after the kids got up from the table, he broke the news to me that a company was looking at him very, very favorably, and that it was an opportunity that he really wanted to pursue, which normally would have sent me into a complete spiral had God not prepared me in December and January. But guys, if you will lean in and you will really listen, there are so many things that I feel like if I had looked back and thought about what God was saying before, I might have been a little bit more prepared. I never know the plan. I don't know the exact plans that he has for me, but I know they're good. Yes, look at God go, right? So, yeah. So I looked at him, and I'm sure he thought at that moment, like, my wife is about to flip out on me. And I said, I've kind of been waiting for you to tell me this. Like, I've kind of been preparing for this. I'm not ready for it, but I've kind of been preparing for it, which super caught him off guard because he was expecting me to freak out. So I went into full-blown planning mode again. Working, trying to knock all the things out, knowing at that point my kids only had a month worth of school left. Well, friends, Monday a week ago. No, it was last Monday. I think it was last Monday. Yeah. My husband was offered a position in Fort Payne, Alabama, and we decided as a family to make the move. So I have been back and forth I actually went down before he got the job offer to kind of look and see what the area looked like so that I would know, is this a good place for our family? And it was very disheartening. The housing market is crazy right now. And when I left, I kind of felt like, oh gosh, please don't let him get this offer. Like, please don't let him get this. I don't see us living here because I couldn't find something I loved. And then he got the job offer. So we decided that we would be moving, and I had to put the kids back in the car. We were going to Tennessee and to see family. And on the back end of that, a couple of days before we left for Tennessee, we found a house, but we had to put an offer on this house sight unseen. So last weekend, I went down there with my daughter. We left my son in Tennessee with my in-laws, and just my daughter and I went to see the house, get everything ready. They had the appraisal on the house today. Our loan is secured. Like, everything is moving at lightning speed. So all that happened, all right? But it doesn't stop there. So in the middle of all of this, several of you know, if you followed me for a while, I was scared to death back in December because I had just turned 40 and I was going to have my first mammogram. Scared to death. Never thought I would get to be 40 and have my first mammogram, right? Like, it's just denial. Well, I went in, and our doctor here, the doctor that read my mammogram results, is very, very conservative and errs on the side of caution. So I got a call the very next day. Hey, we need you to come back in for more pictures, and we also want you to do an ultrasound. So I was like, breast cancer runs in my family, and I thought, I'm not going to freak out. It's dense breast tissue. Like, I'm not going to freak out about this, right? So Rosanna, I can't see your whole comment, but I can't wait to come back and read it. So I went back, and I got a call a few days later that they wanted me to do a 6-month follow-up. Well, guys, that 6-month follow-up was today. So we got back from Tennessee on Monday night, about 9:30. I've just been trying to do laundry and get some orders out and get caught up. And this morning I went in for that test. So they did a whole bunch of pictures, and they put me back in a room, and they said, okay, I'm going to go show the doc and see if he wants any more images before you get dressed again. So I'm waiting in the room. I said, can I have the Wi-Fi password? I'm trying to work and get some stuff done. She gives it to me. She comes back and she goes, no, we're going to need you to go back in. So we go back in, more pictures. And I'm sitting there after, while I'm waiting, and she's telling me that they're waiting for the room and we're going to have to go get more pictures. And I text my husband and I'm like, guys, we went through this with him. They were afraid he had cancer last year. So we've just been through all of this. October was when they found out that, yes, 42. Yeah, I'm 41. So we had just gone through this in October with him. And thankfully it was benign. There was nothing to worry about. Then I texted my husband and he goes, it's probably nothing, honey. It's probably the same thing we went through with me, but I'll say a prayer. I said, all right. And this afternoon, so I left the doctor's office or the imaging center. I texted my son, he was asleep when I left the house this morning, didn't get to see him, and he had texted me, "Good morning, Mom," and I said, "Hey, bud, would you like me to stop and grab you a donut on my way home?" "Yes, please." So I go to the donut shop, I get donuts, and before I ever make it home, I have an email that my test results are ready for me in my Genesis, whatever it's called, like the online hospital records keeping. So I thought, wow, that was quick. So I click on it. "We need you to come back in for another ultrasound and a biopsy." And I just sat there. It was like the whole day. I had all these things I wanted to get done. I knew that tonight was our box, which I was super excited about. Couldn't wait to share with y'all. But friends, I spent the day handicapped in fear. And not just handicapped in fear that something could be wrong, but more of a, Lord, I'm going to have to move my family in about 2 or 3 weeks. We haven't started packing the first box. Our house isn't even on the market yet. Like, I'm going to need you to slow your roll. And thankfully, I have amazing support. And I texted some friends, I texted some family, and they all told me they were praying for me, and I know they are. And that was, I thought, I'm just going to have to take today where I thought I was going to work all day. I'm going to take today, and it's going to kind of be a mental health day to wrap my mind around, hey, this is going to be fine. So I folded laundry, unpacked, and now I showed up to craft with y'all. And friends, this is the absolute best therapy for me today. And I thank y'all so much for joining me today. Like, you have no idea. The fact that so many of y'all showed up, people that, any day. That's so true. Yes, the enemy wants me to be in fear all the time. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to live in fear. But there are some moments that's all you can think about. And so praise the Lord that he is good. He's already figured all this out. Whatever my future holds, at least I know he holds that future. So I appreciate all of these sweet words. Yes, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Rosanna. So thank y'all for joining me. This meant so much to me tonight. Right now, I will tell you that through my move, you will not see me a whole lot. We have a door hanger of the month, which this was our last one. And then we have, this one was the one before. So we do that once a month. I have a group. And then we also do a home decor box once a month. I will tell y'all that is probably going to be the only times y'all see me over the next couple of months, because I'm going to be working on getting my business moved. I don't have a spot for my new business. We're going to have to build a building. Thank you. Rosanna, I'm moving to Fort Payne, Alabama, right about an hour outside of Chattanooga, which is where we lived before we moved here. So in saying that, please don't think I've forgotten y'all. It is not that. I'm making a way. God is making a way. I'm just going to prepare. I'm going to have all my boxes ready so that I can continue to craft with y'all twice a month. And we're just going to move forward. And hopefully this next year is going to be crazy different and settled and fun. And we'll be making new friends and bringing more people into our network that, I love our sweet little family. We have such a great group of women who, look at that, sending prayers. Okay, where is that, Rosanna? How far away from Fort Payne will you be? Or will I be are you from where I'll be? That's what I was trying to ask. But anyway, so in the meantime, I'll be working on getting my kids settled, my house moved, our house listed. We would covet all the prayers for all of those transitions, and just know that y'all are not forgotten. I love y'all so very much. Y'all are so important to me. And so don't think if I'm not showing up that I'm not thinking about y'all and I'm not preparing and I'm not planning. Friends, I've already got boxes planned out through November, and the virtual paint party is planned out through December. And I'm working on stuff for next year. So just know that I am always thinking about y'all. So you're between Chattanooga and Knoxville. Awesome. Yeah, you're not far at all. I went through Chattanooga and then Knoxville this past week. So it was right there. Thank you, Yadira. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Miss Laura. Friends, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a fabulous night. I hope you love this project as much as I do. Like, I've been so excited to bring this one to you. And honestly, next month is no exception. I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about the one after. Honestly, there aren't any projects that I bring you that I don't get excited about, but I just hope that y'all know that I do try to plan the very, very best for y'all. So thank you, and y'all have a fabulous, fabulous night. Please sprinkle this video with your friends that may need encouragement. They may need just a creative break and maybe an idea to spark. I mean, you could take something you already have at home and turn it into a fun little beach decor. So you are very welcome. I share that. I don't want pity. I don't want any of that. I just want someone out there to know that we're all going through things, and it takes all of us holding each other up and remembering each other and praying for each other. And I read something. Okay, let me tell you real quick. I won't stay long. I read something that said, and it's something going around Facebook right now, that says you have no idea what's on someone else's plate. Be kind. And it said maybe their plate is smaller. Maybe their plate doesn't have the same capacity that your plate does. Be kind. Maybe their plate is made of paper where yours is made of ceramic. Be kind. So I say all that to say, I have friends, I have customers that I consider close friends. I have family that I know are going through so many things. And today I praised God that my children aren't sick. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry on camera. I praise God that's not what I'm going through, that my children are well, they are healthy, they are stubborn, beautiful babies. And while this change is crazy for them, they're not having to do it while they're sick. So in all things, we can find a reason to give praise and to thank Him. So today that was my thankful prayer. We do have insurance. I am able to go to the doctor, and I am able to check and see and make sure that everything's going to be okay, and we're doing the best that we can. But I also just praise God that my babies aren't sick. My babies aren't sick. And to me, that is the scariest thing that I could ever go through, is my babies being sick. So I can get through this. It doesn't matter what this hand deals me. I can get through this, but my babies aren't sick. So whatever you can find, whatever you're going through that maybe you're not talking about, you're not on a public platform talking about, just know that there's something. You can dig deep and you can find something in the midst of all the transition and all the changes and all the scariness. Like, you can find something to thank God for. So today it is that my babies are not sick. But I love y'all. If I don't see you very shortly, then I promise as soon as I can, I will be back on. If you would like to follow along with our move in our transition, you can follow me on Facebook. In my stories, I tried to. I'm not great at Instagram. I'm not a super private person, but I'm also not super public. And so I don't just take pictures of our everyday life and post them all over the place. I do, on Facebook some. I share a lot on Facebook personally. But I do try to kind of keep everyone informed somewhat on Instagram and over to my Facebook stories. So if you'd like to follow our journey and see what the future holds for the Williams family and see what next year looks like, I would love to have you follow us. And if anyone wants next month's box, I think I have 10. I'll double check those numbers and I'll send out the link as soon as I get that all settled. But I think I have 10 extra just from people that have dropped out because I'm not increasing my numbers right now. I hope that makes sense. All right, friends, y'all have a good one. I think my husband's home. I'm going to go next door and see him, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.